What is up, everybody? Welcome back for episode 8 of the Modcast with McFizz and Reb. Here we have Cosmic, Hope, and Sword, some of our newest mods, all together here in a group. We're going to go get to know them a little bit better, chat about how things are going, personal life, Rocket League stuff, whatever. I got Reb with me here. What's up, Reb?
Yo, 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 we're back. We're back.
And we're really excited to get into it. This is going to be a really fun episode. It's a real treat to have Sword on with us, all the way from India, completely different time zone. And it's cool that we were all able to do this together. So uh, great to have you listening. And let's go ahead and get started. I'll start us off with the first question. Basically, like, how's it going? You can give a personal intro, let people who maybe haven't had much time to chat with you know a little bit more about you, maybe outside of what they've seen on Discord. What are you up to? How's it going? What do you guys like to do? What's new? Um, yeah, and we'll start with you, Cosmic.
All right, hey guys. I've been moving around a lot, so I'm homeschooled, which that hasn't had much of a problem with my schooling because I've just been able to do it all from home. But yeah, I've just had a lot of moving around with my dad's job and a lot of like working around out with him and my brother. We've built several like houses, not full size houses, but we've built
Damn.
like small houses to like rent out to people on different properties we have. My dad's a very active person. He like likes to do lots of projects and do always be doing things, which is fun. And it was kind of tough as a kid because I'd always be working, always be doing stuff, not really have much free time to do like fun things that I wanted to. But it kind of grew on me, and I kind of learned to enjoy doing that work, and it's fun. I also did like lots of sports as a kid. Just not really any specific sport in general other than soccer, but I just dabbled in different
W.
sports like baseball, basketball. I didn't get into volleyball until actually a couple of years ago, but that's honestly been one of my favorite sports other than soccer is volleyball, and definitely want to get a lot better at that. I've done some like martial arts as well, but not anything super serious with that. And
Cool.
yeah, I mean, I have four siblings, so it's a pretty busy house.
Holy.
And yeah, but it's fun. And I don't know, just doing school right now. Not really have a full time job, but kind of I want to get a job. I have some like tutoring opportunities with some kids that I know that kind of needs have their parents have asked for some help with tutoring. So that might be an opportunity for some like part-time job with still being busy with schooling. But
Are
yeah,
you a college student right now? Are you in high school? And you said you're doing homeschool, so you're probably not college.
yeah.
Yeah.
So right now I'm a sophomore or not sophomore. I'm a junior. But I have enough credits right now to graduate high school because I've been doing some dual enrollment with
Huge.
some certain community
Ooh.
colleges. So I might be either graduating this year as a junior, or I might technically stay in high school as a senior, so I can get the community college classes for free with dual enrollment. It depends on just how many, because there's a limit for how many classes I can do. So it depends on how many classes I want to do next semester, which either I'll just like technically graduate and then have to pay for the classes, but I can do as many as I want, or I'll just stay in high school and keep doing them with dual enrollment. But yeah,
Dang,
I'm currently in high school right now.
Damn, that's dope.
that's super sick.
So
Yeah.
for I guess before we move on to the next person, for the soccer fans out there, I know myself included, we have a Shorty as well. We're pretty big in that scene. Do you have a favorite team?
Honestly, Argentina has been one of my favorites just because I haven't watched too much soccer, but with the World Cup and with just the soccer that I have watched, they've been really fun to watch. And I wouldn't say that I necessarily have a big reason to be a fan of them. It's just again, I don't watch that much sports and that much soccer. I don't watch too much of that, but from what I have watched, it's just they've been one of my favorite teams to watch and to cheer on as they win things. But yeah, what about you? Do you have a favorite team?
Ooh, Shorty and I will always say one team that's in our heart. We are massive fans of Real Madrid from Spain. I
Nice.
fucking love that team. We're massive fans from them. So, but yeah, we've wanted to ask because me being a pretty big fan, I always wake up on the weekends to watch any soccer games that are on. Um, Mostly with the massive tournaments going on around, but that's off topic. But yeah, just
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't honestly I haven't been much of a sports watcher with any sports really, just like playing them and doing and if there's a sport like recently with volleyball that I've been like focusing hard on getting better at, I've been
Mhm.
watching a lot of like volleyball games and trying to like not super analyze, but just notice certain things about play styles to try and apply that and see what I can do to get better. But it's been fun. The sports that I have watched, it's just I haven't done much of that.
Yeah, of
in the
course, of
past.
course. I also want to, get into volleyball. I think volleyball is awesome. I mean, being kind of like, I guess, a weeb, watching Haikyuu, it's kind of my main reason why.
That's
But
what my friends
Yeah.
I've
got into volleyball when that came out.
watched games separately, and it always excites me. That sport is super exciting to me to watch, mostly when there's a massive rally going on and it's just back and forth and back and forth. It's so cool to me.
hmm I actually haven't watched. I have watched a few animes and I haven't watched Haikyuu yet, but that's on my list of anime
A
to watch,
great
and
one,
it's definitely
great one to
definitely towards
watch,
the top since I also love volleyball. But yeah.
great one to watch. There's
Yeah.
gonna be a
Well,
dual movie coming soon, by the way.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I watched the only other sports anime I've watched is Blue Lock, and that was pretty cool. So I'm excited for watching Haikyuu eventually.
all right. Well, I want to give some more attention to some of the other guests we have here with us for now. I'm going to take a minute, switch over to Sword, and let him introduce himself. How's it going, Sword?
Yeah, I'm just doing fine with my college, going really hectic recently. I'm currently pursuing computer science engineering in my college, which is one of the biggest college in my city. That's the second most famous college in my city, I guess. So yeah,
Flex.
I'm pursuing computer science. Yeah, that's the marks that I got. Com- Pursuing computer science, kind of cliche for my friends and all to make fun regarding that. Being the most competitive degree out there, computer science and BTech in India, things were completely different here. And I was just hearing about the American education system, and I just felt bizarre. Like, what's going on? I really can't keep up with what he's talking about.
I imagine it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty different for sure. That's
And
cool.
I think Cosmic is also, that was an unusual noise. I don't know if that came through for everybody, but um, I think Cosmic's also in a relatively unique situation as well. I think most people in America definitely don't have an experience like that.
No, only the top students, bro. We got some scholars in this call, bro. Holy, I feel dumb now. I barely graduated high school, bro. That shit was tragic.
Yeah, but I definitely know where you're coming from, Sword. I went to school for computer science as well. I have a lot of fun with it. It's super cool. So it's not an easy degree, and it is very competitive. But I think it opens up a lot of opportunities. So as you already know, definitely going to pay off.
Yeah, that's that. Really not getting much time since my college has begun. Since September, my college began. Till then, I was in high school, and yeah, college has been really hectic for me. College is from 9 to 5, so
Wow.
and
Yeah.
my home is 2 hours away from my college.
Oh, I feel that. I
So
usually go to work. And it's like an hour and a half drive, 2 hours. So I definitely feel that. I definitely feel
Bro
you on that
probably
one.
spends as much time in the car driving through LA as he does sleeping every day.
I sleep on the car, right? All right, all good. I'm not
Yeah,
the
so
one
it's
driving.
about the same, right?
I'm
When
not
you're
the
in the
one
car, you're
driving.
sleeping.
I'm not the one driving. All good. All good.
Very cool. Well, yeah. All right, let's move on a little bit. Pope, how's it going? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's new? How are you?
Uh, Nothing much. I'm a senior in high school right now. Like Sword, I'm trying to do computer science right now. I don't really know what I want to do yet, like college. So I'm kind of exploring options in high school. Uh, I'm working a job. I'm working at McDonald's. Tough to say honestly, but uh, yeah, I'm just trying to save up for college and
Hell yeah,
then
man.
Hey, I mean, I personally would say, bro, like even if people bash on where you're working and stuff, like mostly if you're in high school, having that side hustle of just working is honestly huge. I mean, I didn't work until I graduated from high school. I mean, I went to college. I went to a community college for 3 semesters, and I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. I don't like this. I don't like studying. It's not for me. So I dropped out, and now I'm working full time, and I've been working full time since I graduated 3 years ago. So, um, I would definitely say it's, even though it might not sound the best, like working at a place like McDonald's, you still gotta respect it though. You're still putting the grind in the hustle, mostly when you're going to school. Like that's just added on stress. So, um, definitely have my respects there.
Yeah.
Just being in school and working is a lot. And like I
Yeah.
worked at, I mean, nobody care. Like you're in high school, like you get a job, bro. You got money, like you can do what
That's
you
dope.
want. That's the
That's
biggest
dope.
thing. I worked at a bowling alley when I was in high school. I worked in the arcade and I had to clean up like vomit and shit. So
Oh, what the-
you know,
I don't do
it is
that.
what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's a job. It's a job. It's in high school. My managers thought they were cool and they sucked and they yelled at me when I was like, "This is stupid." They were like, "Don't talk to me like that." I'm like, "Brother, are you serious?" And then my other coworkers would go, "Hey, bro, have you checked the restroom yet? You got to clean it." And I was like, no, I'm busy. Why don't you check it?" And they're like, "No, you just go check it." And then I go in there and I gotta go clean up a bunch of vomit. I go, "Great, okay, now I know why they wanted me to check it." So work's work, man. It's crazy, but it let me save up. I got to do some fun stuff, save for school. And then honestly, low key, McDonald's isn't a bad place to work. Like I think they do a lot if you keep working there when you go to school to like help with tuition and other things like that. So, and there's a McDonald's all over the place. Like if you leave your town to go to college, you could probably even take your job with you. So I don't know. People make fun of just go get a job working at McDonald's, right? Because there's
Flipping
McDonald's
patties.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's like low-key not a bad gig. And you get bonuses, right, for food, right? You get like perks.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Whenever
McDonald's, but
yeah.
it's free food or discounted food at least.
Yeah, whenever I go on break, I get $10 worth of free food. So I get to
Damn.
try different combos of
Oh
like
yeah.
how can I like maximize this $10, you know?
When I when I was in high school, I worked at the bowling alley, but when I was in college, I worked at a ramen joint and I was a server. One of the perks that they gave was for every shift I worked, I got a free meal. That was it. Like I didn't have anything else. I didn't get discounts on things or whatever. I had a free meal. I could have lunch or I could have dinner. But they didn't ever say like what constituted a meal. They had no dollar limit cap on it because it was kind of a smaller joint that I worked at. And all the cooks in the kitchen, like they were these like Mexican guys that come in and they just hook you up. I'm like, "What's up, Antonio? Like, get me this, and this, and then I want this and this." And he was like, "I got you." So I would eat
The
like a
goat.
king. And yeah, I knew all the shit that was good at the place that I worked. And I bet like you get $10, like you figured out the best way to get good shit for $10 at McDonald's, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for real. I know how it goes.
Bro's
So, but that's
abusing
cool.
the system, flipping it on its
Uh-huh.
head, bro.
Dude,
Perks, man.
sometimes I get to like steal food. They like
Yeah.
don't yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just like, hey, I'm gonna take some fries. Nobody's gonna know. How many fries do you think McDonald's makes a day? One location, like so many fries.
Yeah.
So I know how
Way
it is.
too much, way too much. I'll tell you that.
We'd go in the back when I was working at my ramen joint, and like we'd be like, oh man, it's a tough day. Like we're tired, whatever. We'd go back into the back where I don't know, the kitchen basically, and you get away from the customers, right? And take like just a little breather. And we'd go to the freezer all the time and we just like grab a little like mochi ice cream ball and just eat it. Be like, I need to pick me up, man. And we do that all the time. We weren't supposed to do it, but hey, it helped. And we'd give them to our friends too. Oh man, it's crazy.
Goat. Goated. But it's not in the same, because I didn't work in the food industry, but in my job, I do work in low voltage, so I set up security systems. I set up like internet and like TV speakers, etc., stuff like that, similar. And a lot of the times, like these rich people in these rich places, like Beverly Hills and like North Hollywood, like Studio City, all these rich places, bro. A lot of the times, they have equipment that they use for like maybe a couple months, maybe like a year at most, and they're like, yeah, let's swap this thing out. I don't. Let's get some newer stuff. So there's a lot of equipment that they just throw out, and we just snag it. We just snag it. I mean, there was this.
Because if you're replacing it, right, they're like, I don't care what you do with
Yeah,
it.
literally, they're like, throw it away. You can take it if you want. I mean, literally, in the mountains of North Hollywood, overseeing all of LA, really beautiful mansion. They were
Sure.
throwing out two 90-inch flat screens, and they were like, "You guys can have them if you want. We don't care." So we literally
Damn.
have two 90-inch flat screens just in the
That is
living room.
crazy. What?
Yeah, we
Two
searched.
90-inch flat
Dude,
screens.
they are like $4,000 used. So it's like holy shit. It's like holy
That's
shit.
crazy.
They gave
What do
them
you-
out
what do you-
like this.
What are you doing with those?
Well, we have two
Pretending
living.
you're at the movies.
We have two living rooms here, and one is in each living room. So yeah, it's kind of just vibing
Oh
out.
yeah.
That is crazy. What? That's actually a hustle.
Yeah, and I mean,
Bro.
I once did a job for this guy who was massive into computers. Bro had like in his kitchen like 3 different setups that he was building, and he was in his room. Like his setup is massive, and I was talking to him. I'm like, "Yo, you have an awesome setup, bro." And he was like, "Oh, you game?" And he gave me like a brand new motherboard, an M.2 SSD, and some other PC parts. And I just upgraded my computer that week. I was like, you know what?
That's sick.
I'm gonna just buy some other new stuff for my computer since he already gave me half a build for free.
Yeah, I think as I've worked at a bunch of different places, it's kind of fun. Like everywhere you go has got their own perks. At first, you don't maybe like really think about it or like notice it or maybe appreciate it for what it is. But every place I've worked at has had the perks. Like I worked at the arcade. If I after we close or when I get off a shift, if it's not busy, like I can go bowling for free or something like that. Whatever.
Mhm.
The ramen place, the free food. Place I work at now, I have an equipment allowance. So, because I work remotely, they give me a couple $100 every year. They say, hey, if you need a new keyboard or something like that. So I'll get like a really nice like headset or a really nice like webcam, and like work will pay for it. So, nothing super crazy, but it's nice. And so I don't know, it's kind of cool. Everywhere you work, when you start working, there's always perks that go with it.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I
But
guess we should I mean we've kind of been on this
yeah, let's move
intro
on.
for
What
a
do we
bit, so
got?
let's move on. So I guess in that sense, meeting I mean I've met all 3 of you at different times, but I would say it's all been with different experiences. I mean, for me, when it came to for example meeting Sword, um it was kind of in the general chat of the Discord, and it wasn't even Rocket League related. We talked a lot about Genshin at the time because Genshin was a big thing,
Yeah.
and we were grinding it like crazy back then.
I remember you were playing it all the time. I'm like, bro, I want to play Rocket League with you, but you're like Genshin. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I was grinding that shit like crazy, and that's how I met Sword because I remember I think I brought it up randomly, and Sword was like, "Oh, you play Genshin?" And then we would like DM every once in a while and see what was going on, talking about stuff. So that's kind of how I met Sword. Um, when it comes to Cosmic and Pope on my end, it was more just like, well, for me, when it came to Pope, the goats will know the cheese, the
Oh my God.
cheese. The
Oh
goats
my
will
God,
know.
bro.
The goats will
remember
know about the cheese.
what was the prank we pulled on you with the cheese at one time?
Dude, I never got like any answers to that until I actually became a mod, and I scrolled all the way up to see
Oh my God.
like what that was about.
Bro, remembered.
You
And
wanted the
then
backstory.
and then I saw Soj like ping you McFizz and was like, "Hey, say this to Pope like whenever you get on, all right?" I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I don't even remember the details of it, but we just wanted to get you to like send the cheese. Make you feel like you did something like wrong or like we're watching you or whatever. We were just like, I don't know, just mess with them. Oh yeah, the cheese. I remember that too.
Good
I
classic.
I don't even like remember like how it like got started. I just kept sending it. I don't know. I think I would just keep like trying to like tell a joke or whatever, and then post the cheese.
It just became
And
a
then,
it just became a meme in the server, bro. Everyone was waiting for the cheese to be posted.
Yeah.
Is that a cheese? Like, did you take that photo?
Okay, so I have this friend who like really like wants to move to Ireland someday, and so me and my family are in Florida at the time, and we're getting some like seafood and stuff. And I like walk over to the cheese aisle, and I like notice this one cheese that's called grass-fed Irish cheese. I'm like, okay, well this sounds weird. I'm gonna take a picture and send this to him. and so I took a picture of it, and then like a week later I posted it in Wayton server for like a bit, and then it just became a bit after that. Yeah.
Damn, I mean, for a while. I mean, it kind of died down a little bit afterwards, but for a while, it was a pretty big thing in the general chat. I remember that.
Yep.
Well, I want to hear a little bit more about you guys' experiences with each other. I think we all kind of know each other's experiences with like me and Reb and each of us, right? But like Cosmic Sword, Pope, you all applied to be mods, you all interviewed, you did the whole thing, and you're here now, of course. But I want to know a little bit more about, from your perspective, what it was like being a member, interacting with everybody. When you were applying for mods, did you guys talk about it when you were still in the application phase, or did you hang out a lot before? How are things like that? Tell me a little bit more about, your experiences in the server then.
Oh, go ahead, Cosmo.
For me, I guess it's just been like interacting in general chat and talking with them and getting to know them from that. I don't remember much like with the exact first beginnings, but I guess it's just being active in general and just active members and talking with people. And for the interviewing process for being mod, I honestly had no idea that either Pope or Sword had applied. I was just kind of said, YOLO, why not just apply and see what happens? So it was pretty cool to see that Pope and Sword also became mod and got to be a little more interactive with that once we actually did be mod. But before that, it was just, now I'm talking in general, the definitely the cheese for Pope was kind of a memorable thing, but before that, I don't really have much memory of specific first interactions.
Yeah, it was kind of the same for me. Like when we were first applying, like I think I knew a couple of people that were applying. Like I know Shadow and Casper were applying, but I didn't know like much else. And I wasn't really expecting to get it. And then I got to like the interviewing part, and I'm to be honest, I'm still not sure how I got mod with that interview. If you remember, I think Reb was there.
I was there for all of them. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah. If you remember the interview, it was a little bit wild.
No, I mean, your interview was wild, but you don't understand the other interviews we had, bro.
Oh,
You
really?
do not understand the other interviews we had. The
Wait.
interview with you was we all died of laughter after that interview, though. I think we were all just laughing after that one, but it won't compare to some of the other ones we had, bro. It was so bad. It was so bad.
And like, okay, so I want to jump in and say, I'm not trying to shit talk anybody that applied. Like, we had great people apply.
100%.
The problem that we found was a lot of people don't know how to interview.
Yes.
Like, we already knew everybody who applied. Like, we've seen them in general. We've talked to them. We know who they are. It's not like we're just picking people and we've never talked to them before.
Mhm.
But it's like, oh, I've talked with them. They're really friendly. They're active. Like, we all like them. Like, they're set up to do really well. And they come in the interview, and a lot of people just don't know what to say. Like, they don't know how to hype themselves up. It's just awkward. And it's like, be confident, man. Like, we know you, you know us. Like, just, yeah, put yourself out there. But so many people had a lot of trouble doing that. And, it was, whenever somebody came in, all of y'all had great interviews, and it was so much more fun to do that. So that's why we say it is like, we had a blast interviewing all of you. And what Reb means to say is not that we had people who we did not like apply.
Yeah, 100%.
We were surprised by how hard it was for some people to interview well. Yeah,
it was stressful. Like, because I interviewed like right in the middle of a debate tournament I was at. I was like on my phone
Yes,
interviewing.
we remember that.
I saw like Wayton in the
no way.
VC, Reb in the VC, all these like basically all the mods were in VC. I was like, dang, this is serious, and it was very stressful.
Even some of the mods that I think like never really interact in the chat, like they're there to listen in and ask questions and stuff. Yeah, you're like, oh man, even like I think like Wayton was even there.
Wayton was
just
there.
Listening.
I don't
Wayton
remember.
was there.
Yeah, he was just listening. He didn't really.
Oh my god.
He didn't really give
he
input,
wasn't
but
there
he was
for
listening.
everyone's. But yeah, he would want to come in and listen from time to time. He never said anything, but he did want to listen, and
Yeah.
so like
Yeah,
imagine
that
that.
was like
You
I
get
was like,
pulled in
"Man,
because you
I
can't.
gotta impress Wayton."
Yeah, and
Oh.
you can't even see the VC, so you don't even know who's there going in. You get dragged, and then boom, you're in a call with Wayton and
Uh-huh.
everybody else. Yeah, you're like,
Yep.
oh shit. Yeah, I can imagine it's a lot on you.
Yeah.
So I mean, props to everybody. Like I said, we picked people that we already were fond of to interview. So if you got an interview, like that's great. It means we like you. And we value your presence in the server. If anyone's listening and they're like, "Oh, I interviewed, but they didn't pick me. I must have sucked." It's like, no. Like you're great, and we want you to stick around, and we want you to continue to be a part of the community. But yeah, I can imagine it's really stressful.
Yeah.
I bet that's a lot.
Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up for me. I know people definitely would have misinterpreted that the way I did not want. I did not mean to bash on anyone saying I don't like you or anything. It's more of the fact that some of y'all that interviewed, and if you're listening, some of y'all did not know how to speak. I think we had like one or two where they just like our questions, they answered it in like a couple words, and that was that. Like they had
Yeah, like we'd
no
ask them a question, and they'd be
engagement,
like,
no type of
"This."
hype or anything, and they were
That's
just like, "Yeah, I do this and that."
That's
Okay,
it.
moving on. so yeah, I'm not trying to say I don't like you guys or I don't hate any of you guys that did interview and are listening. It's just more of you guys don't know how to really
Yeah, like we
communicate.
know you have a lot to bring to the table. We wanted you to hype yourselves up. We wanted you to really like be like, yeah, this is what I do. So, take that as a like encouragement. Like we all think you're great. We wouldn't have picked you to interview. So go hype yourself up more. You deserve it.
How was your interview, Sword?
Regarding my interview, I was already nervous by a lot because, firstly, it's the first ever interview I'm giving. Secondly, I was going to talk in English, obviously with you all, and that was really scary for me because I'm not really that fluent in English. Over the years, actually, this server taught me much better English than anywhere I've ever learned. So I was really nervous that day, and it was again a hectic morning for me. Wayton was not there, but Soj and McFizz were most active there. I remember. Toxic was just being toxic like he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And
Fuck that guy.
not that toxic. Not that toxic.
Fuck
But
that guy.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
Toxic likes to give people a hard time.
He does. He really does.
Mhm.
So is Soj.
the
Soj. I
thing
mean,
that
Soj is not a
made
bad
me
person.
nervous.
No, sorry. Go ahead. I'll do my point after you finish talking. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was nervous a lot because there was a question in the Google Forms: Is water wet? I remember
Oh.
that made me
Oh.
nervous. What if they just I enter the call and just ask me starting philosophical questions? What would I do there?
Right. We always like to throw in a couple random questions that the answer doesn't really matter. We just kind of want to use it to get a feel for your personality, I guess. And I think Soj added that one was like, is water wet? Was the question. I
Soj
think
is
you guys
such a troll.
probably remember it too.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
I
We
think I
did-
remember like going back in the mod chat and looking for like when you guys were talking about putting the question in. And I think I saw some like other members' answers that were just like so random and having nothing to do with the actual
Oh,
question.
we were flaming some motherfuckers in that
Yeah.
chat, bro. We were flaming some motherfuckers. That shit was funny. Yes, Soj, massive troll. We love that man.
Mhm.
Soj is great.
Soj is great,
Mhm.
but he could definitely feel kind of intimidating on that first interaction with him because he has that charisma. And he's super outgoing.
He's confident. He's friendly. He's
confident.
outgoing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you could definitely
So-
feel intimidated by him for sure. But
But
it's
I
just
will
him being
say,
a troll.
like,
It's just him being a troll.
Yeah. When you spend more time with Soj, and hopefully you do, if you ever get the chance to, you should. He's great. He honestly, like, he's just a great guy all around. Like, he's so much fun to be around. He's
Love
super
that guy.
friendly. He's the best. So yeah, I mean, I went to Worlds with him. We had a blast. Hope he's doing well. I know he's crushing it out there in Florida doing college stuff too. He
We
was
love
on the
that for him.
podcast earlier. You can go watch that episode if you want. But yeah, all right. I'll try to progress this a little bit more. So before we move from this topic, one last thing I wanted to say was, we've talked about before becoming a mod, during, things like that. And I'll encourage you guys to add extra thoughts about what your experiences have been after becoming a mod. I'm sure people want to know about that as well. But one thing I do want to ask is like kind of what led you to join Wayton's community in the first place?
Hmm. I mean, for me, it was just starting. So I started playing Rocket League when it came out free to play. There was like this Llama Rama event right after it came free to play or something. I remember my friend told me about this new game that was, or not new game, but it was becoming free to play, and he wanted me to get it and play with them. And so I had some free time because of COVID and just not having much much to do or places to go. So had free time to play. And as I started playing Rocket League, I thought, this is a cool game. I want to get better at this game. So I like looked up YouTube's, found Wayton. Then I think I went from watching him on YouTube to watching him on Twitch, and then from there went to the Discord. Or I come to the Discord before Twitch. I don't really remember, but it was pretty concurrent between those events. But just watching Wayton's YouTube videos, quality videos, and I was like, I really want to join this guy's Discord and get better. And now I'm here.
So
Now he's here.
you started watching with the, like, when you went to Wayton's videos, was it because you were watching tutorials, or were you watching like the
Yeah.
entertainment content?
I was
Yeah?
watching
Okay.
his tutorials to like get better into just tutorial videos,
Wait,
and I
that's
watched
good.
several
Same
others
as
at
me.
first, but Wayton was the one that I could understand the most, and that I like got the most skill and information from. So
He is that guy. He is that guy.
He's a
Mhm.
great.
All the content creators are like, Wayton's the big brain. Remember when he
Yes.
did that Twitch tournament with Leth, and like Leth picked him, and he was like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "No, Wayton's smart," and then they won.
Yeah.
So hell
It's
yeah,
all because of that. It's all because of that.
for real.
I'm need my. I'm gonna need to get some of the connections through. Maybe we can get that man Leth on the podcast.
That would be
Ooh,
sick.
that would be
Oh,
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I would. Yeah,
we'd
that'd
have
be
to
great.
we'd have to really prep
to
a
pull
good
some
show if
strings.
we wanted to get Left's time on the podcast.
Yes.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Of course.
Hey, if Wayton like recommends it,
Hey.
who knows?
Hey, I'm telling you, bro. I need to get my connections. Seeing how we can make it happen at some point. Probably
We gotta-
get some more. Before I do move on to like anything more than this, I want to go through everyone. I haven't explained this like on the cast itself, but I've already talked with McFizz about this. Before I do anything else, I want to get through everyone, and so no one is left out. Everyone is kind of introduced once, and then we'll see what we do from there. We do some fun creative stuff afterwards, but I'd really want to get through everyone in the server at least once before I move on to bigger projects, because we're planning on cooking up some big stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the lab ready to go. I guess I shouldn't say ready to go, but some pretty solid ideas that we're ready to implement. But we just kind of have to film everything first. So there's that.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But moving on from Cosmic, anyone else share that question?
Want
that
to
McFizz
share?
had?
Yeah, what brought you here in the first place? I mean, think about it. A couple of years ago, you were not even in the Discord, and now you're a mod here. How'd you get started? What was the first step you took?
I had a pretty similar like experience to Cosmic. Like it was COVID year 2020, and it was actually a pretty funny story. My parents wanted me to like start playing some like car games to like get better at driving because I was trying to get my learner's permit.
My
So
mom
I-
would have never told me to do that.
Really? Well,
Rocket League of all
okay,
games.
so I downloaded Forza and
Ooh.
Rocket, and I played both of those in my spare time, like while I was learning to drive. And I like fell in love with the game, so I wanted to get better at it, and I found Wayton. I started watching tutorials on him, and I think out of like all the people on YouTube, I think he puts like more effort into like how he does his tutorials. So yeah, I'm with Cosmic. Like I got a lot out of that. Also,
Quantity over quality, baby, or
Yeah,
quality
yeah.
over quantity. Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, mostly now.
Also-
Mostly now.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how, but like I got the game before it became free to play, so I'm technically a veteran, and I got all the legacy items before Like it went free to play.
On the cusp.
Yep. I consider myself lucky if I'm being honest.
What about
Very
you,
cool.
Sword?
Yeah. What about you?
Me, I my cousin actually introduced me to Rocket League in 2000, early 2019. So he bought the game. I went over there. He was like, "Dude, this is a cool game. Come and check it out." So we were playing Rocket League, and we actually wanted to learn kickoff because we were not going in a straight line in two cases. So we went ahead and searched up some videos, and actually the first ever Rocket League video I watched was regarding Wayton's kickoff tutorial, the OG one. So yeah, in 2019, that was the first time I watched Wayton, and I already knew that this guy is really helpful. So just when there was this news that Rocket League is going free to play, my cousin was really hyped up, and me too. Like we would be able to play and stuff. Once it get free to play, we'll play it regularly and all. So yeah, when it went free to play, I started watching tutorials, and for the first time, like for the first guy I wanted to see was Witten. So I already knew Witten, and I just went ahead and searched his channel, and I was like, oh my god, this community has grown a lot bigger than last time. And obviously, it's been 2 years since I've seen his video, so it must have grown. And I literally binge watched most of the videos at that time, and I was, what is this talking about? What is double taps and all flicks? It didn't really make sense to me, but I was still into it. And then in the late December, really late December, early, like my first message in this server was on 4th of January 2021. I really don't remember if I have joined a few days earlier or not, because Discord was kind of new to me back then. Yeah, I joined the server, and I started talking, meeting you guys. And within the first month, even there was a mod applications when Yorks and Mason and others were selected. I applied there too, but
Mason.
due to timing issues, Pen, in fact reached out to me like, "Are you ready for an interview?" And shit. But due to timing issues, I couldn't really manage, and then that was that.
Pain.
Wow. Yeah, I think I don't remember when Mason was a mod. I don't. I probably just don't straight up remember. I know I joined. I don't know. I've been in since 2021 as well, so all around the same time. But it seems like obviously, Reb, you've known Waiting for way longer than the rest of us. But everyone else here kind of came from the tutorials, which I think is really interesting, especially considering that. I mean, honestly, in a way, there's nothing else you could really add to the knowledge base from doing tutorials. So he doesn't do them anymore. But um, I think it's pretty interesting how we've all come together kind of through the same way.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I was gonna add something. Hold on. I was gonna add something. Um, so I guess in that sense, I being someone who's known waiting for so long, it feels kind of surreal seeing his progress, and I'm pretty sure we discussed it in one of the last episodes where Waiting kind of started off with like these quick edits, kind of just simple edits, because we were part of this league before, and he would edit a lot of the um kind of clips that everyone would hit in that league, and it was pretty simple at the time. Realistically, I mean, it would just be words, splash text over clips, but at the time, we all thought it was great. We were like, "This is awesome," you know. So it's great to see how much he's developed, and as one of his I guess older friends, it's great to see him just kind of blow up in the scene. Um, yeah, so it's definitely awesome, and it's great to hear everyone else kind of like appreciate his work over the time. Um, because we all definitely did on that league back then. So
I've said it before, and I don't know if you all feel the same way or not, but I've had Rocket League for a really long time. I think I got it at the end of 2015, started playing the beginning of 2016, but I never really got into it until um I don't know, like free to play was when I really got into it because other friends who didn't have the game downloaded it and they started playing, so I got back into it. But when I finally got active in the Rocket League community, it seemed to me like all the golden age had already kind of gone by. Everyone who was really active and had played a lot, who was really skilled at the game, already was like, "Oh yeah, man, I miss crates and keys. Oh, I miss this
keys.
and that, or old GC before all the new stuff, whatever it was." So I've tried to put a lot of effort into it because it's a game I care about a lot, and it seems like so many people, um, they're always it's kind of a negative outlook, and I feel like there's a lot of potential here still. I mean, so many of us have been brought together by the game, and I think it's still so much fun to play, and everyone still enjoys it. So just in the same way that like Wayton put so much effort into it, then I still think it's important for everybody to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course. But I guess moving on from that topic, I was just talking about leagues and stuff. Of course, you guys have been active within the league. Um, were all three of you a part of McFizz's league a couple years back?
I know. I was on a team with Noodle, and I think it was this. It wasn't in this. I don't know if he was in the server or he was just. Well, it must have been in the server, but he's left a while ago. Persis, and I think Shadow was on the team as well. It was a pretty fun time.
I don't think I'm old enough. Like, I don't think I joined then when like that league was still going on.
When was that?
Well,
When,
Really,
when,
the
Um,
first one? I'm looking it up now.
when
But
was it? I think it was like
It was a
20.
while
Was
ago,
it
but I thought
21?
you were.
Was it 21?
I'm checking.
2021? When that league was? I don't know. It was a while ago, but I mean, you know, definitely a big experience for a lot of the OGs in the server, and a lot of
Mhm.
people really want us to bring it back. Of course, McFizz and I and some of the other mods who have been talking on behind the scenes, um, we don't think we're really ready to bring it back yet. For most of the people that are still asking, we're not. I guess we're not ready. We don't feel ready to bring it back. We don't feel like we can present a project that we're going to be satisfied with, so we're not ready to bring it back just yet. But maybe in the future we still plan to do it. I mean, we still talk about it every once in a while. I won't say we don't, but I don't think we're ready just yet to bring a project of that scale back to the server and it be something that we're satisfied with.
It was 2022 was the year when we did it.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but not so long ago.
I thought it was
And
2021.
no, because well, I think they gave me the green light to start planning it in 2021 because I have I have everything stored in Google Drive, and that earliest file was last modified November 23rd, 2021. So I think that's when it started, but it didn't like really start until like early 2022.
it, it
But I
wasn't
think it
the
actually went later, maybe. I don't know.
it wasn't the draft league, was it? Like,
No,
No,
draft
not the
leagues came out
draft
way
league.
after. Yeah, it was way after. It was at that point where I had noticed that the server was kind of on a decline, and I was like, you know what? Let's bring back an old classic. And McFizz was already um a big part of that league, so I had reached out to him first, being like, hey, what do you think of this? We used to do this all the time. Um, and McFizz was like, yeah, this sounds great. And for like almost like a year and a half. I mean, sure, we took a big break, but we're back.
mm-hmm.
Um, we're back to doing the monthly again. But yeah, definitely. I mean, even then, we're kind of not fully. I mean, personally, I'm not fully satisfied with the way that the draft leagues are kind of operating just yet. So, but it'll take time to really get to that point anyway. So it's kind of like we're not if we're not satisfied with this smaller kind of event, bringing back a whole league is gonna be a little more
Yeah.
work
And
and trouble.
that's a big reason why we kind of moved away from the longer format league where you have a team and there's a season that you play. I really enjoy that more than anything, and I would love to bring that back to this community because I think so many people would benefit from it. But the problem is, it's really hard to make it accessible to everybody. It's fine if it's a draft tournament for one weekend, but if you were going to be playing with this team for a long time, we don't have enough people that are all the same rank, that are in the same time zone, same region, and can play at the same schedule to make it feasible. And so we moved to the draft league to do like a quicker feedback loop type of thing. We can do a one-off thing and take little bits and pieces and improve upon it. And there's a lot that, like Reb said, we still want to improve to the draft tournaments, and before we feel like we have the resources available to slowly come back to a longer format league. It's just there's like a big level of there's like a big effort curve to get over before things start to get easier. And it's been hard. But yeah, so we've been doing it for a while, and that's why we switched to it, and we still care a lot about it, and we hope that if other people feel like it can be something that they've enjoyed, or that they can enjoy, or that can be better, that they give us their feedback, or they offer to help out, or they do things of their own accord. I really pushed for the league because I just wanted to do it, and the mod said, if the guy cares that much, they'll let him do it, and we'll do the same for anyone else if they really put in the effort. So, I encourage anyone who's interested to throw their hat in the ring, or just say, hey, I want to do a little tournament on the side with you guys here this weekend. You don't need our approval as mods. Anyone can do it.
Mm.
I guess still sticking with this topic, about the leagues and stuff. What are your guys' kind of like opinions on the way on kind of like the way we're going through this with the draft leagues and the draft tournaments. I mean, at one point you guys were just playing in them, and now you're kind of like, I guess, still playing in them, but have more responsibility in the fact that you're kind of moderating how everyone is playing within the tournaments and stuff like that. So what are you guys' kind of like experience before, while you were just only focused on playing, and now after that you're kind of doing both, moderating and playing?
Like playing, I think y'all did like a great job with the draft tournaments. I think the only problem was that like, and y'all can't really control this if I'm being honest. It's just people showing up. Like I think like several people would like sign up and then not know what it is, and then just not show up.
Yeah.
I think that was the only problem in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, mainly that's kind of the biggest reason why we decided to take a break from doing them, was because we noticed most people would kind of be like, hey, this is twice a month. If I don't show up on this day, I can show up on the next day. And at that point, we had a lot of people kind of doing that, and it would kind of split um uh because so many people were doing that, and we noticed that we had a big decline in players. I mean, we would see people in one side, and then other people on the other day, for example, that used to we come together when we were doing the monthly, and then when we switched to the bi-monthly system, everything just kind of split, and people were like, I can miss this day because I can play on the next day. So that's kind of why we decided to kind of scratch the whole bi-monthly thing, because there's not enough people who are actively looking to play in these tournaments to kind of split it in that sense.
And we have to do so much work up front to make them go smoothly that from start to finish, it makes the process take a long time. I'd love to see it go a little bit closer to how Six Mans runs their matches, where you just kind of run a command, and then whenever there's enough people, the queue pops and you join a VC and you play. Ideally, Six Man has its own problems too for similar reasons, but something that's faster, that can do a lot of the heavy lifting, so that we don't have to put out signups and then people don't play for 2 hours after that. Ideally we can say, hey, we're doing a draft league now, sign up, and then within the next 10 or 20 minutes, people have their teams and they're playing. That would, I think, help a lot more.
Yeah, we're discussing it. We're definitely discussing it a lot.
Yeah, and for my experience with the league, I know for like the long time league before draft, it was fun. I think it was my first like experience with kind of a more seriously competitive Rocket League like tournament system with playing matches weekly and having a team you stick with, which was definitely fun. And it was run well and it was very fun. And then later on becoming a like league helper with helping with running the league, that was a cool like kind of halfway step to then later being a mod. And with kind of seeing the behind the scenes, definitely had a lot more appreciation with like the time and effort it goes into to make the leagues run. I feel like, yeah, the probably one of the biggest issues with like the people not showing up, like signing up, and then later on when it actually comes time to come, they're not there. So I think you guys are doing a great job on your end, and can't really do much with when people just don't show up to the time that they've signed up for.
Yeah.
Ghosting. God
It's
damn it.
it's tough. There's there's a lot of problems that are just tough to fix, and it depends a lot on the people. At the end of the day, it's really only worth us putting in the effort if there's enough people that are gonna enjoy it, as you guys all know. So anyone who's listening and you care about the leagues and you want to see them more, well, you got to play them. You got to be around. You got to be enthusiastic about it because we really do go out of our way to make them happen for the people that we know appreciate them.
So I guess since that's kind of like the basic kind of like thoughts that everyone has kind of given us so far when we've asked questions to the community and on this cast as well. Um I guess kind of like moving on from that, since we've already kind of gotten a general view of that from a majority of people, and we're still trying to work on it for sure. And like Mythic says, hopefully at some point we can make this to where it's kind of automated and all the heavy lifting is done by just a simple command, which is what we're hoping for sure. But kind of moving on from the league and stuff, kind of sticking to more of the Rocket League side of stuff. What do you guys think of the whole future of Rocket League, mostly now with um a big thing that was kind of removed recently being trading, and it being kind of like a massive thing why people were kind of playing the game to try to collect items and the cosmetics and stuff. With that gone, and I guess other features being removed in the past like keys, and I know most of you guys probably didn't experience that, but still, like, them removing these like kind of big things and not kind of having a solution for that. um where do you guys think this game is kind of going into, and kind of hope to see them changes that they can make possibly to improve the quality of life of the game?
I feel like the general direction it's going definitely seems to be more towards the competitive side of Rocket League with esports and removing trading, which has a lot to do with more the casual player base of the game. And me being like a comp grinder, I wasn't super bothered by the removing of trading. I wasn't happy at all about it. It was not a great change for the game, but it didn't really affect me much. And I feel like they're definitely moving towards more competitive Rocket League with like the changes in RLCS, allowing more teams to have a chance to earn by playing in the open qualifiers, etc. And so there's definitely been a lot of changes that are, I feel like, going towards like RLCS and more competitive rather than casual Rocket League.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like the change like at all with like trading. Uh, I think the reason they only did the trading was to introduce their the rocket racing game in Fortnite, which you know I I don't. I mean, I think it's kind of fun every once in a while, but I wouldn't have given trading up for that. And like it destroyed uh like the trading community. Like there was like discords with like I want to say like over 200,000 people in the that like use them every day. But I don't know. I just don't like the change in my opinion. What about you, Sword?
Trying to be optimistic here, but Rocket League's future is really vague, really vague, because yeah, like the game itself is not really much developing for the content we all are seeking for. And it had its boost in the COVID times and lockdown times, but now people being into their lives normally, and the game really not developing by a lot. Talking about it is really scary, but I just hope that they really push out some good stuff out there. Else, like, removing trading was not, in my opinion, removing trading was a really bizarre step to go for.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree, and I think we talked about this with Soj, but it's kind of like they had such a massive trading community. I mean, like Pope brought up, for example, they had Discord servers for this type of stuff, and I know some of them that I'm still part of that do Rocket League and CS trading. And right now, like the Rocket League channels on all those are closed, of course, because it's not that. And now it's mainly just like a CS trading channel, Discord. So it's kind of like they really shut down like a pretty big community that was just so, I guess, solely content on the cosmetics of of the game, the cosmetic side of the game.
I
So
think the biggest thing is that decision, that change was like obviously it wasn't even debatable. It just wasn't in the interest of the players.
yes,
It wasn't in the best interest of the players. There's a lot of things you could argue or are debatable are in the best interest, like Rocket Racing and Epic buying Psyonix. Like those things, they might say, oh, the players will benefit from this. But there just was no benefit from removing trading, and it was obvious. And that's why Psyonix never put out any communication about it, because they couldn't say anything that would change our minds, because it's
Mhm.
just a fact. Like this is not a move that Epic is making with the best interest of the players at mind. It had everything to do with economics. Fortnite makes a bunch of money, and they want Rocket League to do the same things, and that was it. Which is disappointing, because you want Rocket League to grow and improve as a game in a way that the players benefit from, not just a way that whoever owns it can take more money out of your pocket.
Yeah.
which
And
sorry, go ahead.
although I have recently been focusing a lot more on playing ranked, so it didn't necessarily affect me as of now. Before I did get into playing Rocket League competitively, I was really into trading. And I did a lot of trading and like watched a bunch of trading YouTubers like Pick a Pixel and Zenik and different
Ooh.
people that I looked up to and I thought they were cool and I wanted to, be good at trading like them. And so definitely there was a part of me that did get hurt when they announced that trading was removed, even though it didn't necessarily affect me at the time they did choose to remove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like when Epic Games bought Psyonix and acquired Rocket League, I think Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic Games, put out a tweet on Twitter that was like when companies like buy smaller companies, it should like be in the interest of the players and not for a quick cash grab,
Yeah.
which I don't know,
Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy.
hypocrisy at its
And
finest.
trading wasn't that big of, I mean, it's trading was important to a lot of people, but it wasn't core to Rocket League, no matter how you spin it. If you're a trader, then that's fine, but trading is not what makes the game unique,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's not the end of the world that they removed it. It's not great. But if they're willing to do that, we have to be worried about what else could possibly happen. If times got dark enough at Epic, what else could they do to us that they, because they obviously are willing to do things like remove features out of a game against the best interest of the players just because it makes economical sense. Well, that's the biggest thing that worries me, is what else can we see in the future after they've done this? And who knows? Hopefully they don't ever do it again. Hopefully everything they do going forward, whatever they got out of it, is good enough to get what they needed, and we only see improvements, because I know that's what the Psyonix team wants to do. But we'll never know.
Yeah.
I guess
I actually,
before we move on, I'm sorry for cutting you off, Cosmic. You can say
no,
your
you're good.
idea after. But before we fully move on from this topic, we just had this massive, you know, kind of purchase from Disney when it comes to Epic Games, and it's like everyone's like, oh my god, I've seen people. I mean, you know, most of us in the community already know this is probably going to be a letdown. You know, they're buying a part of Epic, and with a bunch of money, but realistically, this is not much of that is going to go into Rocket League, which kind of sucks because we all really want this player base just wants the game to prosper, and they're really not doing much in that sense. I mean, like, it's kind of like they're letting the game just kind of go on cruise control and just let it be. And then every once in a while, they'll do something that's kind of interesting. And then it's like, okay, well, we've done this for like a week. What's next? And then they don't give us anything for like a couple months. So it's like, you know, they definitely need to try to keep the player base as entertained and consumed as much as possible, kind of like how they were doing at the start of COVID and lockdown and all that stuff, because you know we had that massive spike of like a million concurrent players, which was never heard of before free to play. So it's like hopefully they can bring big ideas to the table again, and all for the interest of the players, of course, because that's kind of what you want as a company. I feel like to try to keep your players engaged in the game as much as possible.
Yeah,
I'm still having some Unreal Engine 5 copium, but
We all have that copium.
yeah.
I talk
all
about it on
copium
every cast episode. We all have that copium. Go ahead, Cosmic. Sorry for cutting off earlier.
No, you're good. I was just gonna ask a question to you guys. So we're talking about the changes to Rocket League, and I was curious about another change they're doing that I'm not quite sure if it's a good or a bad change. As of now, I'm kind of leaning towards that it's not a great change because it's about the hitboxes. The cars they've been releasing all have custom hitboxes, and I think that's a cool change that each car has a different hitbox. But the only thing that I don't like about it is all the cars that have the unique hitboxes you have to pay for to get. So I was curious, what do you guys think of this change? Is it a good or bad change in your opinion?
Well, technically, I don't think your statement is true anymore. I believe this Rocket Pass, the cars included in it, also had adjustments like that. And so the free, like the level 1 car you get without buying the pass, technically, I think has a slightly adjusted hitbox. But that's being pedantic. So
And the
I agree,
RX-7,
though.
the
cars
RX-7.
in the cars in the free pass.
Yeah, it's not a free pass. Not a free pass, man, but you have to buy it.
Do you not? You don't get a car.
No, you don't.
I think you have to buy
you're
it.
right.
You
You
have
don't
to
get
buy
one
it.
if you're level 1.
I
I've had
guess
the
you
pass
could
every
if you
single time.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, you're right. So even the cars in the pass, are adjusted as well this season. So you're right. My mistake there. And you know, I think there's been a lot of debate about like the meta of Rocket League. Other games, they will add new champions or buff champions or nerf champions or whatever, you know, like League of Legends and Valorant. They've all done that. If they feel like, oh, the meta's too strong around one particular component, they'll change it to mix it up. Rocket League's never needed to do that because the game evolves on its own, and it's tied to the skill ceiling and the creativity of the players because there's so much free range. But and you know, they used to not have standardized hitboxes, and now we're trying to see a little bit more of that. I don't know whether it's good or bad, but I do think that it is it's a little bit strange. I mean, they're not going to give cars away for free anymore. I think that's the fact. Is now that they've gotten rid of trading, I don't think you're ever going to get like a new car. I don't. Maybe from a drop. Maybe if they put these cars that are in the pass, if they come out with a new car that you can get from a drop, like the Fennec or something like that. That might be the only way you'll see this change. And I think in most cases the changes have been inconsequential. The only one that really I think is significant is the Formula One car.
Yeah.
And they made that change retroactively after the car was already released and then no longer buyable. Then they made the change. So, yeah, but it does open the question of like, what are they willing to do? Honestly, I think the only reason they did this in the first place was because some of the sponsors, you know, whoever the Formula One car was like, why does our Formula One or whoever sponsored it was like, why does our hitbox not match our car? Why is no one using our car? Well, because of this. Well, then fix it. And they had a paying customer say, make this change. And so they did. and the players didn't completely outrange. It wasn't super a big deal. It was interesting, and I think some people liked it. They saw it as like a new content, quote unquote, right, which people have been begging for in any possible way. And so they have kept doing it because no one's gotten mad. It hasn't been a problem. Um, I personally do feel like new cars in kind of the meta would be great to see. Um, but of course, it has to be done the right way, right? Like if people would use more than just the Fennec and the Octane, pretty much for everything, that would be great. But I don't know if this is the way to go about it.
Yeah, it would definitely be cool to get some communication on what the future of hitboxes could look like with all, because they've just been adding these new cars with shifted hitboxes and not really much communication on why this is happening or what the future should look like for adding more hitboxes into the game. So that definitely, but again, a part of the biggest problem is the lack of communication from the team at Epic that do the updates for Rocket League.
So
Another thing is, they've never made hitboxes like a regular, like an obvious thing to the casual player. Players just use cars because they think they're cool, and they expect them to react in a natural way, right? So if you have a terrible hitbox, you're gonna feel like the car is weird, but even at a low level, you might not notice. But if they're gonna make these changes, it should be something that people know about. Like if they're gonna put out patch notes for new updates, hey, we're gonna provide this car with, if they're gonna say this hitbox, that should mean something, regardless of whether you think having more or less hitboxes or adjusted hitboxes or not is a good thing or a bad thing. If Psyonix is going to mention it, it's going to be a thing, then it needs to be consistent.
Yeah.
So I do want to, before I guess we move on, I do want to say, as an OG player, every single car before had its own hitbox. Every car was unique. None of them had the same hitboxes. Now they share the hybrid, what is it, Dominus, Breakout, Octane? I think those
Plank.
are all of them.
Yeah.
But
There's
before,
also Merc one, right, too?
Yeah.
before, every single car was unique. Every single car had a different hitbox. And when they made this change, everyone was like, what is going on? Like, every car was unique. You could use every car differently, and it was interesting because every car, like I said, is different. It's not all the same copy and paste um kind of like meta, but it's not, it was, every car was different. So
Was the change concurrent with like Epic buying Psyonix, or was that before
I
that?
don't remember if it was exactly that. I think it was a bit before that. I think it was a bit before that. Um, but yeah, they did that, and it was like, so I don't know if you guys were really investigated after you guys came into Rocket League, the old esports scene. But back then, a car that was used a lot was the Batmobile. The first Batmobile that dropped into Rocket League was that, everyone used that car because of the hitbox it had. And a person who really made the Batmobile really popular was Cookser, because he used that car like crazy. And everyone knows, even as a recent player, if you know anything about the esports scene, you know about the Cookser pinch. That is a classic mechanic that he used to use, and he made that car popular because it had its own hitbox. It felt a little heavy, but it was unique. And it was super usable. Of course, it was a pay to win car. People called it a pay to win car because you needed to buy the car off the store. But still, a car like that, besides it being kind of the cars we have now, the Octane and the Fennec, a car that was completely separate, being meta relevant, was, it. I just wish we could see that more now. I wish it didn't decide to kind of make everything kind of general and kept it all unique, because it really made the game more interesting and more fun. I loved the Dominus hitbox back then. They tweaked it a little bit, but I was a massive Dominus user back then. So
I
again,
think it's interesting that so many things people complained about in the past, they're calling for again, right? So
yeah,
maybe this case with the hitboxes is not exactly the same, but like the hard rank resets, solo standard, right? All those modes, all those things that have been removed after like season 3 or whatever it was. Psyonix was like, we're never going to do a hard rank reset again. They took solo standard out of the game, and I've seen a lot of people. I'm one of those people that would think it's valuable. It's worth putting back in. I don't know if I want a hard rank reset, but some people have called for it. Some people say, "Oh, ranked is broken. It's all jacked up. We need a hard reset." And they have done harder resets recently than they have done in the past. Um, and so I think people are kind of, like I said, nostalgic for the golden days, and maybe they just want to see more of what they remember, and also just something different that they know they've played and they miss, and they want it back, something new. Um, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
like how everyone feels, but I think it's interesting that those arguments have come back up again recently.
And going back to the hitboxes, I think that if there was a new hitbox to come into the meta that was up there with Octane and Fennec, and like pros started using it, I feel like that'd do a lot for the player base as well, because especially a lot of the comp grinders tend to like copy the pros and what the pros are using, like with even just car designs as well, like the MENA Fennec design, or recently with like Zen using the Bluster Bar Fennec. Like for example, not even just content creators as well. Like when the Dingo came out and Leth was hard repping the Dingo, saying it was like the best car ever. A lot of people, including myself, I bought the orange Dingo in the shop and I started using it. And he did go back to his Octane after a while. But I think like either content creators or pros using a car can do a lot for the player base as well.
100%.
I
They're
agree.
super influential.
I liked the Dingo. I used it a lot too. There's plenty of good cars out
Mhm.
there. That's the thing, is like I enjoyed the Mamba. That one was fun to play. The Dingo is really good. Even the newer ones like the Lightning McQueen car is kind of wacky, but it has
The
its
flip
its
flicks are
charms.
insane.
Yeah, it has its moments where it's like, oh, this is fun, and I still see a decent amount of people using the Lightning McQueen car.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like if hitboxes went back to the way they were, actually there would be less reason for players to use new cars, because they would only use exactly what the pros use, and the pros would find the ones that are closest to what they're used to, or have like really exploitable things like the F1 car for flicks.
Mm.
Um, so there would be even like the meta would be even more defined if we went back to unique hitboxes, because then you couldn't swap out, you know, the Dingo for the Fennec or whatever. I don't know whichever one has an Octane hitbox, but even the Ford F-150 is an Octane hitbox. Like you could use that one, and technically it's the same.
Built tough.
Yeah, so you have more freedom like this to use more cars. But if we go back to the regular hitboxes, I actually think that would go away.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in the sense of, I guess we were just talking about influences and cosmetics and trading and stuff. Um they had just recently, what was it, yesterday? I don't know, just recently announced the new season rewards for this season. Um what do you guys think? I mean, honestly, I think they cooked. I mean, so far every time they've done decals, I think they've cooked. I think they've done a good job um with the decals. And I mean, this time they're doing something kind of interesting with it, with these decals being what is it called, beat sync.
Like, yeah.
So I think it's super cool. I think they cooked. What are your guys' thoughts on them?
I think they look good. I don't care about the beat sync at all because I don't use in-game music.
Yeah.
So I have my music off, which means it's not going to be doing anything special. So whatever. But I have always liked decals. A lot of people, I think, complain about them, but I think these ones are good. And they're a good balance of unique and fresh. And they also kind of play into the theme of the season, but they're not so themed that people don't like them.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. And I mean, we have uh well, I guess a lot of people kind of ask for that, but it's it's uh it's a black background. It's kind of like a black primary, and a lot of people love to use black and white on their presets. That's kind of what a lot of people do on Baka's mod, for example, kind of do a black or white primary, and vice versa. So it's definitely cool that they're kind of, I guess, kind of using that more, um, in the game when it comes to cosmetics.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I still use the first, or I think what was the first? I think it was season 3 was the first decal rewards I got, I still use the gold season 3 rewards for my titanium white battle bus preset, and it's fire. I think the decals are pretty cool. I like the ones this season. I'm on the same boat as McFizz. I don't use in-game music, so it won't be the beat sync for me, but it's still pretty cool. I like the decals.
I like the.
Absolutely.
Oh, go ahead.
Right.
Sorry, Sword.
Sword, go ahead.
Talk rewards. The rewards I pretty much loved were the season 3 decals we were talking about. The diamond decal, I really loved them. Like I still today use 2 Octane presets. One is the Wayton's copy, definitely, and the second one being the diamond decal Octane, and the goal explosions. I think it was season 6 or 7. Back then, the first time I reached champ in March 2022, I guess. That was the time that we got this decal. Not the decal, sorry, the goal explosions of the respective ranks that you have achieved. I really loved the champ one, mate. Like the purple color of the champ always have given me the aura, and the goal explosion is really nice. I till date I use it. Like I haven't ever changed the goal explosion.
Yeah.
I like the Huntress decal. I think it's similar. So I think they cooked. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be like Reb said, and everyone else has been saying. It's like unique enough that it'll fill a gap with the season rewards that people. It'll be something people don't have in terms of season rewards that they want. But it's also not too specialized. So I think they cooked as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm
For
like
sure.
I'm like right now on Twitter scrolling through these comments. Usually I mean everyone's gonna there's gonna be haters no matter what, but for the most part, every time I see season rewards, people are like, it's kind of split. People are like, I like it. Most people are like, I don't like it. But I'm scrolling through these comments right now. Everyone is like, yeah, these are some of the best rewards we've gotten. You guys cooked. You guys did a good job on these. Credit John Sandman. Credit where credit is due. Um, so it looks like, I mean, hopefully they kind of keep a train going. We hope that they can keep doing um kind of these creative ideas for rewards, because it's at the end of the day, people are grinding out like around, what is it? It lasts for like around 3 months a season.
I think so. 4 months, something like that. I don't know. 3
And
months.
hope for good cosmetics as kind of like a reward for grinding comp so hard and reaching a new rank, for example, like either it be diamond or GC or etc. So it's great to see that they're putting more effort into the rewards. That's what we like to see. So we hope that they can keep moving on. But I guess before we wrap up this episode, I kind of want to gauge where everyone's at right now when it comes to other games. Are there other games that you guys are playing? I know earlier I talked about me Sword and I meeting off of Genshin, but besides stuff like that, are there other games that you guys have been playing besides Rocket League?
I've been playing a lot of Osu and Geometry Dash recently.
Into those music type games. Okay,
Those
okay.
are popular. A lot of
Rhythm
people
games
just
are
never
fun.
play those.
I watched Soja's modcast, and I'm kind of similar to him. Like I'm a rhythm like type of guy. I like rhythm games.
Dude,
They're
rhythm games
fun.
are fun.
Osu seems like it's got too high of a skill ceiling for me.
Yeah, I watched Soja's streams, and he is very good at Osu, and
He's
I
cracked.
tried it out for a bit, and I was not very good at it. But I remember, I think the first game I ever played on like my dad's iPad was Geometry Dash, and I still play it sometimes on I don't have it on the PC, but I still have it on my phone and I play it, and it's very fun. And rhythm games are cool. I also play like Beat Saber on the Quest I have, but I don't know. The only game I play competitively is Rocket League, but other games, Lethal Company a while back when it just started getting super popular. I've been playing that with some friends, like Terraria, it's mods. Oh, recently I actually have been playing the Halo Reach campaign. Because that was the first PC game I ever played was Halo Reach. And I played it at my cousin's house because I didn't have a PC. So I was over at my cousin's house, they were playing Halo. And just recently I like got back in touch with them and we're playing through the Halo Reach campaign, and it's a cool throwback to like the first game I ever played.
Wow.
Oh,
I know
we
that a
love
lot
that.
of Halo 1 was on PC. I don't know if all the Halos have been on PC. I guess it would make sense because it's still Microsoft, but I always grew up playing Halo on my Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I have kind of like a similar kind of feeling with Cosmic. I mean, it didn't release just recently. I think it's been out for like a year and a half now. But for me, one of my favorite games growing up was Sonic Colors on the Wii. I grinded the shit out of that game. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and it got a PC and console remaster with a couple new features and quality of life updates, like a year and a half ago, and I absolutely grinded that game. And I still get on every once in a while to just kind of relive those memories that I had when I was a child. Um, but I guess I kind of have that same kind of nostalgia feeling that Cosmic's been feeling with Halo Reach. Um,
Well, what about some of the new games? You guys ever played like Helldivers is really big right now. Has anyone tried that?
So I've heard from friends that it's really fun, but also the servers are really overloaded right now, and you have to wait till like 3 a.m. to get on. So
holy.
I haven't actually got the game yet because I'm not awake at 3 a.m. So I probably wouldn't be able to play it. But once the hype dies down, or once they, I don't know, upgrade the servers or something, once it's actually playable for the general player base, I definitely think that it'd be fun to try out.
Well, I have good news for you. I just bought it yesterday, and a couple days ago they put out an update that not only increased server capacity but also kicked people that were idle. Um, I got in and I played for like an hour or two before we did this, and I had no wait at all, and it was a blast. So,
All right, I'm buying it right now.
yeah, I had a lot of fun. That's what I've been doing as of like literally a couple of hours ago, but I think I'm definitely gonna be playing that one a lot more. It's been a blast.
What about you, Sword?
Yeah.
For me, recently I really haven't got much time to play games. Actually, competitively, might get on here and there. So I've been playing some casual games like primarily Skyblock and Tears of the
Minecraft
Kingdom,
enjoyer.
Hypixel
Love you.
Skyblock.
Oh, Tears of the Kingdom is so good.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are just like love shit for me. Like I play them so much regularly. Like even if once a month, I just get on. I don't know what my world progress is. I just get on and start playing it, and it's just so fun exploring the world. It's open box games are just fun.
They've always been some of my favorites, especially Zelda. They've done such a good job at the world building and the music and the atmosphere. It's always fun to play a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to me, I haven't really been playing many games, honestly. I mean, I've been super busy with work, and that's kind of why we've kind of stalled this episode a little bit. Um, and I don't know. I play Rocket League every once in a while. I play FIFA every once in a while. Um, let's see. I play CS every once in a while, which recently, I mean, I showed McFizz this yesterday when I got it, or 2 days ago. But for some, I know we talked about CS, I think last time with Soj, but for some of you that don't know, CS has a trading market that is translate to actual liquid currency. So you can go to a third party site and kind of sell your skins and get actual cash from it back. And I had just recently upgraded one of my knives to a more expensive knife. And safe to say that I have a pair of gloves and a knife that combined probably go for around twelve to $1,300 now.
He's a
Dang.
baller.
Dang. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I got pretty lucky, and some of my old skins ended up going up in price when I was selling them, and I was able to just make a pretty good upgrade. But I mean, I think my inventory right now is kind of worth like $1,600, but all of that is pretty much just for my gloves and my knife. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I've been at with games. I've been trying to get more into Osu again. I'm not anything crazy like Soj. I mean, Soj is kind of on a level of his own, I feel. But
He's just built different.
He's built different, yeah. But yeah, when it comes to me, those are kind of what I've been doing. I have been trying to get more into what game is that? I guess not newly released, but it was released kind of recently. The new Ark game, Ark Survival Evolved, or not Evolved, Ascended, Ark Survival Ascended, and that's a pretty big game that I've enjoyed growing up, playing with since before I had a gaming PC and I had like this trashy ass laptop that I was playing Ark Survival Evolved on, and yeah, Ark Survival Ascended, kind of like a remaster, but they made really good quality of life updates. The game looks amazing, running on a new engine. Yeah, I've been having a blast playing that every once in a while.
Rocket League, take notes.
Rocket League, take
Yeah.
notes. Take notes.
New engine goes a long way.
New engine
Yes,
goes
sir.
a long way. We would love that. We'll still cope every single episode about UE5. It always comes up. We'll always cope. But I guess on that note, do you guys have anything you want to say before we end off the episode here?
Nope.
It's been very fun being on the episode. It's been awesome. It's been a great time getting to talk with y'all and to get to know everyone a bit better. So thank you guys for having us.
Hey,
Yeah, we need to do a mod night.
I was gonna say a
some
Helldivers
point.
mod night. Let's go.
Hey,
shit.
that sounds pretty fun. So if anyone's got it, I'm down.
But yeah,
But,
I guess
yeah.
on that note, I would like to say thank you to the three of you. I know we're doing this. I know we're doing this kind of at the nighttime. It's a little late. And I don't want to really put the blame on you, Sword, but I really appreciate you guys for kind of sticking this out and agreeing. First of all, agreeing to come on to the podcast. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys. This is, I guess, our biggest episode so far, with I guess like head count. Since our last episode with a good amount of members. Besides the co-host was 2 with Shorty and Ban on like episode 2. So yeah, you guys are officially our largest head count.
Setting new
on
records.
Setting new records. W boys, we love it.
Let's
We
go.
love
New mods, new records. Let's go.
it.
World
But yeah,
record.
I appreciate you guys so much for coming on, and sorry if we for kind of delaying this and keeping you guys up a little bit at the night if you guys have stuff to do in the morning. But again, I appreciate you guys. Again,
We appreciate you too.
I appreciate both of you guys.
Hey, yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, for all the listeners or viewers on the YouTube side, at the Spotify side of stuff, thank you guys again for listening. Appreciate everyone who does listen. We have some stuff cooking up for the next 2 episodes for you guys. Next 2 episodes will be big.
Stay
Episode-
tuned.
Episode 10 is going to be a live episode, and I'll talk about it more in the next episode, in episode 9. Episode 10 will be a live episode. It will be streamed on my Twitch. I'll link it in this episode so you guys can go kind of get ready for that, but it won't be for another 2-3 months, that episode. But it will be a live episode. It's going to be a really big episode to look forward to, and next episode will also be a pretty big episode with a very, very special guest that no one will be expecting. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. You 3 in the call, and of course my co-host McFizz. Always appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do these with me, and to all the listeners, thank you. We'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, stay tuned, everybody.
See
Thank you so
ya.
much. Thank you so
See
much,
ya.
everyone.
See
Have a
ya.
good one.